TV.
These are standard 6 pupils, and this is what they have to put up with.
4 years after graduating, John Kariuki is still stuck in an unemployment rut.
Trouble has been brewing over these lands over the last couple of months.
Huyo alipigwa risasi 3.
And at night, no one stays here. The women and the children leave the camps and only the brave warriors stay around.
The lady is physically challenged, and they say the last time they had a meal was a week ago.
The water levels are diminishing fast, a depiction that the drought is still here for a long time to come.
Hello everybody, I'm Larry Madowo, live at Nation Center. This is the latest from the NTV newsroom. Hundreds of Muslims in Mombasa defied Chief Qadi Sheikh Mohammed Mohadar's announcement and celebrated Eid al-Fitr today instead of Monday. The Chief Qadi yesterday announced that the celebration will be held on Monday because the moon had not yet been sighted as expected. The faithful, however, flocked various mosques and open grounds, including Tononoka grounds, early in the morning for the prayers marking the beginning of the Eid celebrations. Early morning rains disrupted plans for the prayers to be held in open grounds in accordance with the practice of Prophet Muhammad. Men, women and children braced the heavy rains as they streamed into mosques and halls for the special prayers. The Chief Qadi usually urges Muslims to rely on the physical sighting of the moon according to Islamic laws to signal the start of Eid celebrations.
Tuna wapongeza Waislamu katika ulimwengu mzima kwa ajili ya kuadhimisha hii siku kubwa. Hani allakum, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala awape Eid ya furaha. Jambo lingine ni kuwahusia Waislamu kushikamana na kufuata maulama ambao ni wenye kufanya juhudi kubwa, walezi wa umma.
Leo siku 29 hatukuweza kuona mwezi, kwa hivyo lazima tufuate sheria. Na kufuata sheria ni kukamilisha. Sheria inasema kamilisha siku 30 kama mwezi haukuonekana jioni ya leo, ambao ni kama leo 29. Kwa hivyo kesho ndio siku kulingana na sheria, kesho ni 30. Na mtu yote ambaye atakwenda kinyume na sheria ya mtume, kwa hivyo yeye amevunja ile ibada yote. Ukiswali Idi kesho na kama haijafika, kwa hivyo hiyo Idi yako itakuwa haikukubaliwa, ni zero.
More Muslim faithful across the country today marked Eid al-Fitr. Here in Nairobi, for instance, Muslims gathered for Eid prayers at the Sir Ali grounds after the moon was sighted in most of the Muslim nations, including Saudi Arabia, considered the cradle of Islam. Here, the Muslim faithful were encouraged to continue observing, I believe it is to continue observing the prayers and I beg your pardon, the values of Ramadan even after the fast. Faithful also called on a peaceful electioneering process ahead of the August 8th polls. The Chief Qadi Ahmed Mokhtar yesterday declared that Eid al-Fitr will be marked on Monday, like we said, the 26th, saying that the moon had not yet been sighted in Kenya, Tanzania and Zanzibar.
If tomorrow is Eid for him, what happens when Eid al-Adha comes, which is celebrated after the Muslim Hujjaj go to the Mount Arafah? So is he having his own Mount Day for Arafah? Is he going to have his own day for Hajj? So we are telling him, your own deputy, Sheikh Rashid, is leading the prayers in South Sea MOW. Last night you refused to pick the telephone calls of Muslim scholars, muftis. And I want to ask the Muslim Ummah, let us not allow one individual in the name of Chief Qadi to divide the Muslim Ummah. We want unity.
Let's talk about the political calendar this afternoon. President Uhuru Kenyatta is to launch the ultra-modern Jumuiya Friends Hospital in Kaimosi, that's Vihiga County. The facility will offer both inpatient and outpatient services. NTV's Namukabo Irunga is covering that launch. Here, a part of her report.
In just a few minutes, the president will officially open Jumuiya Hospital Friends Kaimosi. It is a facility that is owned by the Friends Church of Kenya and serves people from Vihiga County. This is an event that has attracted quite a number of people, including members of the Friends Church from all over the country. And it is being hosted by the Friends Church of Kenya, but even members of the National Council of Churches of Kenya are here to see the officiation of the facility. Right now, the people in attendance include students from institutions in this area, including Kaimosi Girls High School, Kaimosi Boys High School, Friends Teachers College, and a technical institution in this area. So what is happening right now is that entertainment is going on. The president is expected to arrive just a few minutes from now. When he arrives, he'll first go to the hospital facility where he'll officially launch the hospital facility and then head here for a church service conducted by the Friends Church of Kenya.
And NASA principals have taken the campaign to Busia County today, less than a fortnight since the Jubilee may also toured that region. The team is visiting various constituencies, starting with Funyula, and we're now joined by NTV's Oko Kusa from Busia. What do we expect this afternoon, Oko?
Larry, what is happening is that the campaign tours have already started in here in Busia County. There are two teams, two NASA teams. They have split in Team A and Team B. Team A is being led by Raila Odinga, the NASA presidential candidate, and Moses Wetangula, one of the core principals of NASA. And then Team B is being led by the deputy or the running mate of Raila Odinga, that is Kalonzo Musyoka, and the co-principal Musalia Mudavadi. So Musalia Mudavadi and Kalonzo Musyoka are coming through Teso North and Teso South for votes, and that is already underway. They'll be going through Angurai, Malaba, and through Nambale, and later converge at Busia Stadium for a final rally. That is expected to happen later this afternoon. On the other side, Raila Odinga has already addressed his first rally at a place known as Mau Mau, and currently as we speak he's at a place called Port Victoria, where he's also addressing another rally. Remember, Port Victoria, Mau Mau, all fall within Budalangi constituency, and we all know that Budalangi constituency is represented by Ababu Namwamba, who was once the ODM Secretary General, but later defected to LPK, which is allied to Jubilee Party. And we are made to understand that the issues that have arose there, Raila claiming that, or accusing the Jubilee government of failing to protect Kenyan fishermen. Remember, this area is just on the shores of Lake Victoria, and therefore Raila accusing the Jubilee government of failing to protect Kenyan fishermen against the Ugandan security team who continue to harass them in the lake. Again, we are also made to understand that Raila endorsed Wanjala, who was once the member of parliament for Budalangi constituency, but was ousted by Ababu Namwamba, but is back in the race and is actually the one flying the ODM ticket in this August 8th polls. So as we speak, Raila is at Port Victoria, and from there he'll be going to a place known as Lunyafu and then head to Funyula Stadium, where we are now. We is expected here in a few minutes' time before they proceed to Bumala, Matayos, and on to Busia for the big rally that I've mentioned up there, Larry.
Interesting that both main contenders for the presidency are in Western, with President Kenyatta in Vihiga and the NASA team in Busia County. And even in Busia itself, Jubilee was just there about a fortnight ago. Why is it so important, and why they're spending so much time within that western part of the country?
Yes, as you know, Western Kenya is one of the regions that is considered to hold some of the largest voting blocks in Kenya today, and therefore there has been a lot of traffic. As you've said, there are a lot of politicians traversing this region to mop up support for their parties. Remember, Jubilee was here just almost a fortnight ago. Uhuru Kenyatta touring the entire region. He was actually here in Busia County, he was in Bungoma County, he was in Kakamega County, and today he's in Vihiga County. And that tells you how important they are considering the voting bloc in this region. And at the same time, remember, NASA claims to be that this region is one of its strongholds, and therefore they will not want to leave anything out of chance. That is why the visit by the NASA team is coming barely 2 weeks after Uhuru was here. And therefore, as you've said correctly, this is one of the regions that both parties will be looking out for to beef up their support as we head to the elections. Remember, last time the region voted overwhelmingly for CORD presidential candidate, which was Raila Odinga, even though Musalia Mudavadi also contested in that election as a presidential candidate. But still, this region voted overwhelmingly for the opposition. But the Jubilee government is not leaving anything out of chance, and that is why you see a lot of traffic here from the Jubilee too.
All right, many thanks, Oko Kusa, for us in Busia, and also Namukabo Rungwa covering President Kenyatta in Vihiga. We'll have a full update for you and video on NTV Jioni and NTV Weekend Edition tonight. In the meantime, a section of Jubilee leaders in Kajiado say that Friday's court ruling that the presidential vote tally at constituency level will be final is not a win for NASA, but an opportunity for the trust and confidence to be restored on voters about the electoral process. According to the leaders who were campaigning in Kitengela, the winner of any election is determined by the vote cast in favor of a certain candidate, but not the tallying center. Kajiado governor candidates on a Jubilee ticket, Joseph Olelenku, and Kajiado South MP Kato Olemetito, said that with a credible and transparent election, the tallying issue is inconsequential. At the same time, the leaders urged residents to promote peace during the electioneering period.
As Jubilee, our position is that, first of all, we respect our laws. We know it is the Kenyan people to decide who their president, their governors, and other leaders will be, and we will respect the verdict of the Kenyans. We respect our laws, and it doesn't matter where the votes will be counted. The issue of trying to come up with parallel tallying centers, you know, so long as you receive we will do the same. Even me as a candidate, I always do the same. You know, I contact my agents. I try to know how much I got from each polling station. But the final verdict comes from the returning officer. And the national returning officer is the chairman of IBC. So
the government is warning those engaging in acts of lawlessness in the run-up to the general election that they will face the full force of the law. The Garissa County Commissioner James Kianda issued a warning to residents of the county, including politicians, after leading a peace procession through Garissa town.
Serikali imeweka mipango kambambe kama kuna mtu ambaye atavunja sheria wakati wa uchaguzi. Sio kwamba ni kitu tofauti. Tuko na sheria ambazo zinasimamia mambo ya uchaguzi kupitia kwa sheria ya IBC, na tuko na sheria zetu za Kenya za kawaida kuhusu watu ambao wanavunja sheria. Kwa hivyo watachukuliwa hatua ambayo inapaswa kikamilifu.
Wafanya siasa ama wala ambaye wanaomba kura, wananchi waombe kura yao kwa njia ya amani. Na pia tunaomba wale ambaye wanaomba kura waombe kura yao kwa njia ya amani, na wasichochee na wasifanye incitement katika jamii ambayo wanaomba kura. Na pia ninaomba serikali, hasa tume la uchaguzi, wale ambaye wanasiasa ambaye wanachochea hiyo wafanye disqualified na wachukue hatua na wapeleke nini kotini.
The government will increase the number of National Police Reservists, or NPR, in volatile areas along the West Pokot and Turkana borders in order to address insecurity in that area. Inspector General of Police Joseph Boynet, who visited the Takwal region Saturday, said more police reservists will be recruited to complement the work of police officers in that area. Boynet donated 15 motorbikes to reformed warriors from the Pokot and Turkana communities.
Accompanied by leaders from both sides of the constantly warring communities in the region, Inspector General of Police Joseph Boynet said the government is determined to see the end to the clashes between the Pokot and Turkana. In his tour of Takwel, Boynet donated 15 motorbikes to be used by reformed warriors from both communities in the community policing to ensure peace prevails. He promised to bring more motorbikes in the region to boost security at the border of West Pokot and Turkana counties. Leaders from the two communities said the journey to a peaceful coexistence began with both sides returning stolen livestock.
Ng'ombe zaidi ya 800 ilikuwa imeenda, zimerudishwa zote, ile imebaki peke yake chini ya 50 ambayo hata nasikia ilishoka njiani hivyo inakuja. Hii haijawahi kufanyika kwa dunia tangu. Tunatokana viongozi na viongozi kwa sababu ya peace ambayo tumekuwa nayo tukifanya mambo ya kampeni. Hakuna mambo ya ukushi hapa, mambo ya amani, hatuingize siasa. Na tumeamua sisi wote kwa pamoja kwamba tuweke mambo yote ya differences kando.
Cases of cattle rustling and retaliatory attacks that have been characteristic of this region for some time have reduced in the recent past. Daniel Mule, NTV.
So division in Kiambu Jubilee Party politics appears to be taking a very interesting twist. So this follows the omission of the party's Kiambu County Senator nominee Paul Kimani Wamatangi from billboards erected in various parts of Thika Town constituency. Billboards bearing candidates running on the Jubilee ticket in Kiambu Town have been erected in Thika Town, and the senator candidate is conspicuously missing. Residents here are pointing an accusing finger at Thika MP Alice Nganga for being behind the exclusion of Senator Wamatangi on the billboards, as you can see them there on your screen, because they're only elected in her constituency. Senator Wamatangi is being challenged by Ngewa MCA Karungo Thangwa, who is running on an independent ticket. The move comes barely a week after an independent candidate, Engineer Patrick Wainaina, was almost ejected from the presidential days shortly before the Uhuruto convoy arrived at Thika Stadium. Patrick Wainaina is challenging Alice Nganga for the seat of Thika Town constituency.
Inaonyesha ya kwamba wanataka kutoa Wamatangi katika ile figa ya watu wa Jubilee wenye wako hapa mji wa Thika. Kwa hivyo Wamatangi anaonekana anataka kutolewa kwa macho ya mwananchi, ndio manake hajawekwa kwa billboard.
This would be a perfect candidate for the segment we call First World Problems on the Trend. The winner of the 2017 annual Ugliest Dog Contest in Petaluma, California was a far cry.
Serve on boards and those that have retired from serving.
You've seen people who've gone the higher scale. They share experiences of how they've gotten there. You learn because you hold each other, you learn from each other. You say, I went through this, I can also go through it. This is what is limiting me. How do I go about it? And somebody say, hey, I had this and I did this to go through it. So it brings a forum for women harnessing their skills, their leadership skills, and how to climb the ladder.
I also think it gives me an opportunity to mentor others and to share my experience over the years on the challenges to a woman as a leader.
The Women on Boards network goes a step further by offering capacity building to ensure that its members are equipped to effectively serve on boards they sit on.
The governance programs, leadership programs, and bring various speakers like what we had today of learning how to be a leader. Is it the head, the heart, the brain? So they also bring that into the forum, and that makes people discover themselves and be different people in terms of leadership.
I got a chairperson of a board calling me and telling me, Catherine, you sent to me 4 CVs. I am appointing 2 of them to a board, and I will appoint 1 of them to be a chair of another board. And he said to me, you know, when I interviewed those women, I just couldn't believe the talent that we have out.
Established in 2014, the network has successfully placed over 15 women on boards and counting, with a membership base of 200. However, it has been an uphill task beefing up the number of women on this platform, with a number of myths bust along the way.
We do not have enough women to sit on boards. If you ask me today, you want a finance professional who's a woman. By the way, I will not respond to you if you tell me you want a lady director. I will ask you, what skill are you looking for? Because in our database, we have ladies with diverse skills. So if you ask me today to give you CVs of women accountants or finance professionals, I'll be able to give you so many CVs.
The importance of having women representation on boards is one that goes beyond gender and greatly points at the well-being of institutions they serve.
The competition, when the board is top-heavy with men, is about power. Who has more power, who wields more power in the organization. But when you bring more women on board, you start seeing the conversation going towards which functions are being performed better, what can be done so that the workers give us the best.
This is, of course, to say if you have a company that only has women, maybe you're missing out on something. Because when I look at my interactions on boards and working with boards, I find that men are more risk takers than women are. Women are more risk averse. And so what happens is that the two balance each other out.
Armed with the task to ensure that the next generation of board members has a sufficient representation of women, the network is already investing on the younger generation.
My daughter, who is 11 years old, is a junior member of the network because I want her to grow up interacting with the ladies. So she comes for our conferences, she interacts with the ladies. And in fact, the ladies have said, we want our children to join as well. And that's because we want to nurture them from an early age to aspire for these positions.
For Women in Power, my name is Gladys Gashanja.
Every other man is man.